I'd like to introduce Jay Madison, our agricultural coordinator, with some introductory comments. Jay?
One of the things that I wanted to talk about is our agricultural industry and what's going on right now. When you look at Watertown, New York, you draw a circle 100 miles out from Watertown. Within that 100-mile circle, there's approximately 533,000 large livestock. That's your dairy cows and your beef animals. That's a huge resource, and it certainly paints a very good picture of the strong agricultural industry that we have. Now, it also presents opportunity to grow our farms and to grow the economic impact that agriculture has on our community. Our tax base, when you look at our schools, our municipalities, our farms pay a huge part of the taxes that support those institutions. So when we can find a way to help those farms grow their revenue stream, they turn that money back into the community. If you look at Old McDonald's Farm and North Harbor Dairy right here that we're on today, which we really appreciate them hosting us, when you look at this operation, over the past several years, they've invested millions of dollars in this farm alone. That's just this farm. So we've already got that kind of investment going on. And if we can open doors that will help these farms grow even more, then we should be doing everything that we can to help that happen. And that's what today is about. It's opening doors for agriculture to continue growing. And today, what you're going to hear is we're going to talk about removing one of the major barriers that have existed. I started this job 14 years ago. And for 14 years, I've worked with my friends at Extension and at the other agricultural agencies, looking at, okay, we've got this huge barrier that faces the livestock industry. What can we do about it? And last year, we started to find a solution to that. And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Next up, I'd like to introduce our steering committee, Mike Lundy. If you guys wouldn't mind coming up here with me, please. Ron Porter, who could not be with us this afternoon. Steve Winkler, who would like joining me here, and Ron Robbins. Now, Steve, if you wouldn't mind giving a couple of words about the project, please.
Sure, I will. Thanks, everybody, for coming. This is a really exciting time, and it proves the commitment to our community and ag infrastructure of what we're trying to put together. This is an official announcement that the New York State Meat Company is in the final planning stages. I'd like to thank, this is a cooperative effort of farmers, developers, and investors. And I'd like to thank the Jefferson County Development Corp for facilitating so many moving parts in a large-scale production facility. You can see by some of the schematics that they put forth of what at least it's looking like from an overhead view. The proposed processing facility will be a state-of-the-art, modern, clean facility. It's been decades that a processing facility this large, with all the attributes of eco-friendly food safety in mind, has even been talked about in the Northeast. This will directly address a consumer demand in the Northeast to keep our resources at home. And the resources we're talking about primarily with this facility is livestock. But by creating high-quality jobs that are food safety driven, eco-friendly, it'll also keep our young people at home as well. The well-educated and well-heeled consumer wants to know where their food supply comes from, and they want it at the closest source possible. This includes all types of farmers, traditional, niche market, and organic, with all types of livestock species, beef, pork, lamb, goat. The proposed plan is to answer the direct needs of the Northeast consumer, demanding its food travels less miles at a competitive price. A facility of this magnitude has to be efficient because we will be competing with other regions of the country. To achieve this efficient modern processing facility, it needs to be where the farms exist, and that's in the North Country. An example of a customer demanding New York State food is Piggy Pat's Barbecue, who will be providing our lunch today. Pat is currently sourcing local proteins from throughout Central New York, whether it's in manufactured products such as hot dogs, sausages, or raw materials like pork shoulders. I thank you again and look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you very much, Steve. And gentlemen, congratulations on the announcement of this project. Appreciate it very much. Just a little bit of background on how this developed. Last year, 2014, we heard about a processing plant that was looking for a home. And we put forth that Jefferson County has some great assets. Namely, 385,000 dairy cows and then another couple thousand of beef animals within a 100-mile radius. That's the biggest asset. The second asset is Interstate 81. We've got, when you take those interchanges for the interstate and go a mile off, there's some great resources there. And so last year we said to the developer of that project, hey, come on up and take a look. We presented several sites to that developer, and the developer looked at our county industrial park and found the lots that you'll see on the site maps here. And so we put him in touch with the developer, who happens to be Mike Lundy, who owned that property, and we started to develop a project. And we were pretty excited. It was going to be a great project, a great size project. Things started to mesh well together. And then, unfortunately, that person that was proposing the project, who was from out of town, the key person that they wanted to work for them, found a job elsewhere. And for whatever reasons, the project sort of died, which broke our hearts because, as I said, for 14 years, we had been looking for a project like this. So, Mike Lundy and myself and Don Alexander sat down and had lunch and said, you know, this project just makes way too much sense for Jefferson County. We can't let this die. And so the three of us got together. We started talking with Ron and with Steve, and everybody was on board saying this just makes too much sense. Let's keep this going. So a good friend of mine that works for Cornell Cooperative Extension in Oneida County and also has a contract with New York State Department of Ag and Markets. He's sort of like, if you ever want to call somebody a guru, he's the meat guru of New York State, and that's Marty Broccoli right over there. And yeah, absolutely. So we started talking with Marty, and he's helped us take a close look at this and started to put the pieces together. And the steering committee has said this makes sense for Jefferson County in the North Country. So we're pretty excited about it. Mike Lundy's going to go through the project, give you an overview of all the things that you see up here. And don't forget, after the program is over, if any of you have questions, feel free to corner one of us and ask away, because that's what we're here for, is to answer your questions and provide as much information as possible. So Mike, take it away.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it. For those of you in the audience that don't know me, I'm Mike Lundy. I'm the owner of Lundy Development Property Management. We're a real estate development company. I'm also the president of Lundy Corporation. just made an awful lot of sense to try to develop this project on that property. I'm gonna walk you through the boards, and then after we're done, you can walk around and take a look at it. But starting on the very far end, that's what we're calling phase 1. This is designed as a 3-phase project, a total of about 110,000 square feet in all 3 phases. The initial phase is roughly 20.6 million. That's in building construction, equipment, and startup capital. If you look closely when you go over to the boards, you'll see a unloading area in the back. And the intention with this project is all of the animals will come in and go into the unloading area and close. There'll be nothing exposed, no animals to the outside, everything is done inside. The process will continue through a holding pen, through the actual harvest area, into packaging, and eventually shipping out the far end of the site. There's also a proposed 2-story administrative portion in the front with the personnel areas, break room, locker rooms, mechanical rooms, all that on the first floor, and the administrative offices on the second floor. The entire building is climate controlled. The meat cooler areas are kept at 28 degrees. The production floor is kept at about 60 degrees, and they have to maintain that temperature 24-hour basis. Phase 1 is designed to handle a capacity of 100 animals per day. And the cash flow projections and the business plan that we've started on are based on that 100 animals a day. One other thing that you'll see in phase 1 is plans for a culinary area. And Jay will get into this a little further, but it's our intention to partner with JCC, and have JCC actually have culinary training right in our facility. The second board is phase 2. You'll see the different color. The second phase is blue. The second phase would add about 20,000 square feet. It would increase the stock pen holding area so that we can house more animals the evening before harvest, with additional packaging and processing areas. When phase 2 is complete, if we were to add additional shifts, it would give us maximum capacity of up to 8,000 animals a month. Do the math, we're looking at 100,000 animals a year. This facility potentially could have the capacity to process. You'll also see in phase 2 a section that says value added. It's our anticipation that in time we would add a retail side to this. And we'd have cooking, smoking as part of our process. We've secured 2 names in New York State. New York Meat Company will be the primary occupant and operator of the facility, and we've secured Thousand Islands Meat Products as our retail name. We would anticipate eventually in time that we'd have a retail side to this. Initially, in both phases 1 and phase 2, we intend to contract out with rental space for a refrigerated warehouse. Try to put that kind of capital in the first 2 phases is difficult. We want to spend the capital on equipment processing. So our intent is to rent refrigerated warehousing space and distribution. But phase 3, which is the third board, you'll see a dark beige area. That's showing space for 50,000 square feet of refrigerated warehouse and distribution. Eventually, when our capacity is up and our profitability is at a point where we can afford to go into phase 3, everything would be done on that property. You heard Steve mention that the intent is high-tech, state-of-the-art. We're working with a group called Mid-City Design, and you see the 2 boards next to me are done from a gentleman named Arnie Hethoff. Mid-City Design is in Nebraska. He is one of the foremost consultants in plant layout and efficiency design and meat processing. We've retained Arnie. He's been a tremendous resource. And when you come up, you'll actually see the equipment layouts of the boards. In phase 1, we're going to go ahead and anticipate putting in all the equipment for phase 2. To try to take phase 2 and add more equipment into phase 1 would mean some downtime that we don't think we can justify. So we're actually showing all the equipment being put into phase 1 for that capacity. The The intent, as Steve said, is modern, but it's also designed to be automated. The holding pen area is designed to be warm, quiet, stress-free. We want the animals to be as stress-free as possible. The requirements for the facility are exceptional cleanliness. The building is actually cleaned and disinfected every single night. And that requires a tremendous amount of water. We're actually anticipating a production well on site. We've worked with a hydrologist out of New Hampshire that says we have a prime site to put a production well in. I've done it before with these people. We're looking at utilizing about 50,000 gallons of water a night clean. So we didn't want to tap into the municipal resources for water. We just thought that was a much better way to handle this. The building itself is a Butler pre-engineered steel structure, exceptionally high efficient design, high energy benefits. We anticipate substantial use of green technology. We've already started discussions with utilizing geothermal to help us with the refrigeration side, and we're looking at solar and possibly even wind to help us with the electrical generation side. The middle board, you'll see a site plan. We've retained Gymo engineers. Tommy Ross is here. Tom helped put this together with us. Tom, thank you. The site's about 9 acres, and you'll see that the property is totally fenced. There's actually a security guard building at the front. The gates are automated. Nobody can get in and out of this facility without going through the security checks on it. The intent is nothing is visible, no noise, no odors. Honestly, you drive by, you wouldn't know if it's an animal harvest facility or they're making widgets. If you look to the far left, you'll see the color renderings of what the building looks like. The first rendering is the overall phase 1, 2, and 3. So you get a feel for how big this building is, what 110,000 square feet looks like. The second one is a blown-up version showing the office. Very conservative appearance, very clean, very simple. Honestly, wouldn't look any different than any of the other manufacturing facilities that are in the industrial park. And obviously, the architect must have thought we were going to be successful. If you look at the last one, you see the parking lot's full of Audis and BMWs. So we're hoping that that's the case. Thank you for your time. I know I went through this pretty quickly. If anybody's got more specific questions, I'll be sticking around afterwards. Be glad to answer. Thank you.
I'd like to also introduce some stakeholders with some testimonials and words on the project. Ron Robbins.
You didn't tell me I was going to be first. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to North Harbor Dairy and Open Downs Farm. It's always a pleasure to host events here. Julia, my daughter's in the back. Where's your mom? Is she around?
She had a tour.
Oh. And so she's out earning some money, so that's good. Anybody that is interested in seeing the facilities, maybe see Julie afterwards if anybody's interested in a quick tour of the dairy or whatever. We always felt like the success of our operation and how we met the challenges of our business, and there's many of them on a day-to-day basis, really amounted to who we surrounded ourselves with and how those people helped us meet the challenges and opportunities that we deal with daily. And I think the key that I've seen, as a producer sitting around as part of the steering committee, has been the fact that some great minds around the table. Everybody brings something unique. Certainly the folks at IDA have a lot of experience in bringing business in and getting those startups up and running, meeting their needs. Eric Constance from Small Business Development Center, keeping us all grounded when it comes to developing a business plan. Certainly Mike and his expertise on the development side, Marty Broccoli, and all the expertise he has brought, as Jay said, the guru of meat processing here. And, Marty is counted on to give advice in a lot of places, so we were lucky to have him here. along the way and really brought the expertise that we needed to bring it to fruition. You know, I always say if you get up in the morning with the idea of being involved in agriculture to make a profit, you know, you're in the agricultural business. And that can be farming, subsidiary businesses, agribusiness. How we do that every day, there's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of management styles. There's big, small, organic, conventional, you name it, it's out there. But if your sole purpose is to make money, then you're really you're involved directly in the agricultural industry. And the unique thing about this project is it doesn't segregate any one sector of the livestock sector here in the North Country region. You know, there's going to be that small animal line, there's going to be a large animal line. It can be a weekend farmer with 50 head of beef cows or 20 head of beef cows, or it can be a dairy operation such as ours that has about 300 cull cows a year. Lots of opportunity for spin-off businesses when we look at opportunities to take bull calves, raise them as a sidelight business on our dairies or some of our smaller farms, bringing another family member back. These are all unique opportunities I think this project brings to reality. So with that, appreciate everyone coming today and appreciate all the hard work that's gone into this so far. The real work's just begun.